People in the XRP community, oh boy, do I have a video for you guys today. There have been some really crazy things going on. Some allegations are being thrown around and people are wondering, when IPO? What are Ripple's plans? Are you still bullish on XRP? And all these things I'll be covering in this video because like I said, guys, there's a very heavy battle ongoing right now within the XRP community. It's being said that the CTO lied, or rather that Ripple is lying about what they want to do with XRP. But the CTO came out to refute those claims that Ripple's not lying and that things are still on a very, very good path. Also, people have been throwing up some reports of XRP being a centralized piece of garbage, as some guys have found out that Ripple CTO 𝗕𝗓𝘁'𝘀, who is a genius, by the way, basically had some patents from a couple decades ago. 𝗕𝗓𝘁'𝘀 filed a patent similar to Bitcoin in 1988 and worked for the NSA. Satoshi also came out with a coloring book that hinted towards Ripple as well. Wouldn't be surprised if it was the upper C-level of Ripple's team that is actually behind Bitcoin as a test before introducing XRP. And you know, honestly, that wouldn't be the craziest thing out there. I am not saying that that's the case. I am saying it wouldn't be the craziest thing that happened in this world, and we still don't know who made Bitcoin. We know who made the XRP ledger. It could have been that Bitcoin was a test by the government. It could have been that Satoshi was just a couple of people doing all this for fun, never intended to make money, or who know that it's eventually going to collapse for other, more properly built cryptocurrencies to rise from the ashes. It doesn't fully matter. 𝗕𝗓𝘁'𝘀 is a motherfreaking genius, but people decided to really take this out of context. Here's a little mock account from 𝗗𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗑, who just put up this article. Was the XRP ledger centralized from the start? Ripple community debates? Well, not really. I mean, ex-Ripple developer Matt Hamilton said, "It is really amazing how stupid you are that you propagate this nonsense. The patent you talked about was literally 2 decades before XRP even existed, and yet you think it was about XRP? Cope harder." To which I have to say, there are a lot of people who just want to see XRP lose for some reason. You can see it's got 150,000 views, but 10 likes because nobody likes this. But for the most part, these views came from David. As he said, this is such an incredibly stupid argument. I have no idea how it could possibly respond to it other than laugh. And somebody put it out, hey, you know what? Don't worry about it. It's just a mock account. But the real account said this. Of course, the real Max 𝗗𝗘𝗪𝗓 would never say anything such as this dumb. He responded, Max, right, by basically taking Pompliano's earlier tweet where he said, if you think Bitcoin went on a tear once in CNBC and institutional investors learned about it, just wait till they discover XRP. And I think they've discovered XRP because, well, right now we have got the clarity. It's just a matter of time before the ETFs pop in, et cetera, et cetera. But he responded by saying, XRP is centralized garbage, as you can see plainly from this patent right here. And then he puts up, oh, something, this is so cringe. Why? Anyway, I've been following this journey and it's so ridiculously stupid. The discussions that people are having, it is insane. And again, just for some reason, and it seems to be that the closer you get to the rush upwards, right? The closer you get to greatness, the more resistance you see. And perhaps that is the test we are facing right now. Because what I'm noticing, what I've really noticed recently here, is the amount of FUD against Ripple, XRP, and things of that nature. It's pretty similar to what we saw a couple years ago just before XRP hit an all-time high. You gotta understand, guys, in 2017, I was an XRP supporter, but the amount of people that despised me, went to my comment section with all this hatred, laughed in my face was insane. But right now, the majority of people say, oh, you XRP, oh, pretty nice, right? I've got some XRP too. It's changing. Yet right now, this month, I should say, it's again just different. Here, for example, the CTO now has to defend himself about what XRP's goal really is. I will tell you one thing though. Whatever you think XRP is going to do, understand that you don't know because we're in a little darker period. Ripple has been in one of the most crucial lawsuits for crypto with the SEC. And the thing is, if they had let go every single part of their plans. It could be they've gotten into more trouble with the SEC. It's just possible. Even right now, the main reason they're most likely not announcing some crazy things is because the market's not in the right fit, or because the battle with the SEC is still ongoing. Whenever I see statements from Ripple now, I keep thinking in my head, let's take this with a grain of salt, because we don't know if they really plan this or if they're just saying it so the SEC won't slam on their ass. Understand, guys, these people, JP Morgan or whatever, they're chasing this. They do not want the financial system to be changed. So they're attacking this with full force. If you let go all your cards at the same time, like we've seen in the Ripple reports, where they explain exactly what they were doing with their XRP, it only stabbed them in the back. So the best course of action for Ripple, and it feels like I'm defending Ripple here. I don't even own Ripple stock. I don't care if the company does good or bad. I think XRP will thrive regardless of Ripple. But I feel like we should take everything with a grain of salt, because they most likely are planning something way bigger than we can even fathom. My thoughts. But again, I might be wrong on that. It could just be overzealous here, overexcited, even though not that much is going on. It's possible. But with regards to fear, we see this fear time and time again. And it makes me think, are Ripple planning for like an IPO or something crazy, right? Because it's been so quiet. And why is the fear all of a sudden that high? Is it Ripple themselves perpetrating this fear, putting it in to make sure the price comes back down for some crazy snap? Or so that something just falls into the right position for their master plan? I don't know. But I also think David Schwartz is a genius, and the way they've built this most likely is going to last us a long time, / it was built for what it's doing right now. And I just keep on thinking, most likely something so much bigger that we're just not able to figure out yet right now. Because in reality, guys, it could be that XRP basically put themselves into way better positions than any of us could even know, right? We're always trying to answer these questions, but we don't know until it's happened. But what I know is, if I just keep buying every single day, or at least whenever the price goes back down lower, and I just keep accumulating, at some point I'll be at a golden position, because I understand the change that they're going to make. We don't know exactly where, when, and what, but we understand the concept, and that I think is most important. And we also understand that whenever fear gets to its peak, right now the amount of fear is all of a sudden really high, even though perhaps the proper party can kind of put a dent into it because of the enthusiasm that it brings along. But with fear being this high, I keep thinking perhaps it's supposed to be that way because something really, really good is coming, and they want to shake out some of these weak hands because they don't want them to make the profit, or just because that's the logical way of business, that usually the greatest things come right after the darkest periods. People have asked me, make a video about when IPO. I'm telling you, Ripple could, in theory, IPO, but it would be the worst thing ever for them right now, because they're in a legal battle with the SEC, and the SEC has to approve an IPO, but it wouldn't really be logical for them to do so if right now they're going after Ripple in their case. So once the case is fully over, most likely an IPO will come extremely quickly. That's my thoughts on the matter. Central banks or Fednow, whatever, what's going on with that? The thing about all these massive game changers is we don't know enough yet, because we don't know how far Ripple has put themselves in to this newer system, but we also do not know, will the US government really collapse? How far will it collapse? Like, how much will it crumble down? Will the financial system really cripple down under the pressure of these newer currencies? How deep will the CBDC go? Will it encompass basically everything, or only small parts? And these are vital questions to understand before we can talk about how deep XRP will integrate. People have been angry as well with Ripple for stopping their Fortress acquisition, and I keep saying, Ripple's a multi-billion-dollar business. They've got some pretty good analysts in there. If they didn't acquire it, most likely there was a better plan there. And I keep telling you as well, just because Ripple might be going for different plans right now doesn't mean that that's not for the betterment of XRP, the XP Ledger, whatever, over longer periods of time. Again, these guys are not stupid. They've got tons of XRP. And the best thing in their world would be if XRP went up to crazy, ridiculous prices. So why not try everything in your power to make that happen? It's just logical. So if they're making choices here, assume it's not against you, but it's for the betterment of everybody on that side, which is Ripple and XRP. If they're doing something else, like a change in vertical, they want to go for different sort of payments, they want to go for different sort of strategies, don't think they cannot just come back to whatever they promised before. Because again, it might be to look a certain way for the SEC. It might be because they want to be the Amazon of digital payments or whatever, where they just start with other sectors first before signing on to the bigger thing. We've said before with, for example, when it was still called Ripple, it was actually having different names before. Right now it's called RippleNet, and you've got different pieces of it, ODL and the original X Current. Before it was X Rapid and X Current. It was kind of funny. But what they basically said was The hardest part is signing the initial contract and signing them onto any of our services. The easier part is convincing them to basically get their fees down even lower by using XRP. And the point here still applies, where the hardest part is getting these companies into crypto. Perhaps Ripple's focusing right now, or perhaps the guys on the XP Ledger that are working on it, or that are creating use case for XRP, are right now working on thinking of what's the best way to just get XRP completely cleared before we start ramming, before we start going crazy. Because it's always conditions, right? You've got to get this first before you can get this. And perhaps that's what some Ripple's might now too, and that's why there's no crazy announcements, even though I personally think it's based on the market. But always keep that in mind. The majority of what you see is a very small portion of what's going on. And as long as you realize that, you're golden. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed these daily crypto videos, make sure you go ahead and press that like button. Crazy things are going on, and they're trying to get into your head, but understand the most beautiful things always arise from the darkest. That sounds kind of strange, but I think it's true. Good times are on the horizon. I don't think they're too far away. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you press that like button and put that notification bell on for a future, very important crypto update that might make you, some crazy progress, I guess.